Hi everyone, it's Sophia Melonē, the Debt Demolisher, and welcome to the Sophia Melonē Show, where we make debt freedom the new norm and wealth building the natural nature of habit. Yes, I know, it's been a while since I've released an episode of the Sophia Melonē Show, but I'm here to tell you guys that things are back in effect. One thing that I realized is that I've been overcommitting myself to a lot of things, and I'm not really taking the time to really see all what it takes to really carry out all of the things that I've committed to. So I've committed to doing the Sophia Melonē Show, which was supposed to be releasing a new episode every week on the area of personal finances and financial literacy. I then committed myself to doing the Inner Evolution, which was supposed to be a daily drop of what are some of the things and the wisdoms that I've been able to experience and captivate throughout the day of my year 35. I have a blog that I write for both of my websites, SophiaMelonē.com, as well as my company's website, Smash Debt Inc. And it can be a lot trying to come up with material to write, blogs to post, things to blog about or things to vlog about or to share and to talk about. And on top of that, while maintaining my duties full-time at my 9-to-5, which is my investor, as well as getting things built up in terms of the services that I want to deliver and in my business that's on the side. And so I don't want the Sophia Melonē Show to go by the wayside, and I want to let you guys know that I have not forgotten about you. This is still a place and a space where we bring and collectively talk about financial literacy, personal finances, and ways that people can really get a hold and grasp on their finances to be able to reshape and revamp their lives. And so what I want to share with you guys this week on the Sophia Melonē Show are 6 important steps that you need to make sure that you do when it comes to transforming your financial relationship when it comes to money. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you identify your financial goals. It is so important for you to have a blueprint and a plan so you can know what it is that you are actually trying to reach. So many times we have a tendency to say, okay, I want to get here, or I want to get there, or I want to be debt free, I want to be this, but it's not specific. So when we get into the goal setting piece, we really get specific about how much debt we want to pay off, how much money we want to save, where do we plan to be or want to be within the next 5 to 10 years when it comes to our finances. This is what the financial goal setting process entails, and it can be very detailed. In my opinion, the more detailed, the better it is. So what I want to encourage you to do is, number one, make sure that you set some time aside to establish your financial goals. Be sure that they are specific, they are measurable, they are attainable, they are relevant, and they are timely. And I have a blog on my company's website that details this to a T, exactly what you need to do, as well as I have a virtual financial goal setting workshop that I am offering to you guys as well. If you would like to get your hands on the replay of the training, I got so much great feedback on that training. So if you guys would like to have basically a process to walk you through that, I highly recommend that you take some steps to invest in yourself and purchase the financial goal setting workshop, or you could simply go to my company's website and read the blog for yourself and just follow the process and follow the steps that's in the blog, which is all on financial goal setting. The next thing that you want to do is you want to begin to identify your patterns. You want to know, how are you spending your money and why? This is important. Once you have your goal set, you then have to understand and identify the patterns in your current spending. How are you spending? Why are you spending? How frequent are you spending? What are some things that you could actually do to possibly cut what is not necessary? And what are some things that you can do to figure out how you can get some additional income in the door? The third step that you want to do is anticipate your expenses. And so what that means is you're putting yourself in a space to say, okay, this is what I have going on right now. What could potentially come up in the future, and how can I properly prepare for that? So many times I hear people say, oh, this came up and it's ended up sucking up my money. It's because we have not identified our anticipated expenses. And anticipated expenses are things that we know in which could potentially happen, but we just don't know when. when. So if we know it's going to happen, it's important for us to make sure that we are setting aside money now to plan for those expenses, so that way we are prepared and we're not caught blindsided when that expense pops up. Number 4, the next thing that we want to make sure that we do is that we get into debt demolition mode. You guys know that I am the debt demolisher, and if you want to reform and revamp your financial relationships, you got to start getting rid of the debt, right? So you've identified your financial goals, you've identified your patterns in terms of your financial patterns, you've identified all of your anticipated expenses. Now it's time to get down to say, okay, let me put my debt demolition plan in place. How can I reduce the debt that I have so that I am able to reallocate my money and put it either into my wealth building fund, into my asset building fund, or into my anticipated expense fund? So it's important that you guys put yourself on a plan to look at all of your debts, look at all of your balances, see exactly, prioritizing them in a way of what can be paid down first, and then using that free money that you're able to find through budgeting or additional resources or multiple income streams that you have coming in the door that can be used to pay down your debt. This is important. Step number 5, what you want to do is begin to create your legacy plan. You guys, so many times we forget about planning for our future, planning for our legacy, planning for what will happen once we leave this earth. And what that consists of is you thinking about your asset protection plans. I have another blog on my company's website, Smash That Inc., that shares what are some things that you can do to protect your assets. So when we talk about asset protection, we're talking about wills, we're talking about trust, we're talking about establishing beneficiaries, we're talking about getting all of the things in order, identifying all of the accounts that we have, insurance policies, making sure that we're properly covered, and we're putting all of that in one place, in a succinct place where someone else can find it in the event that you pass away. Do you know how many unclaimed insurance policies are pending right now? So many times people pass away, but their family members are not able to find their wills, are not able to find their trust, are not able to find their insurance information, so there is no way for them to recoup or gain what you invested in all of this time on this earth because they can't find the documentation. So part of your legacy plan is making sure that you have the things that are going to be needed for your succession plan, your transition plan when you leave this earth, that your family can then put their hands on so that they are able to handle your assets according to your wishes and not having it being sucked in by the court system and a whole bunch of time, a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch of everything like going to waste. It is just not wise. So make sure that you are planning for your legacy and doing it the right way and letting your family members know where that important documentation is. So when you pass away, because we all know that we're going to pass, when you pass away, your family knows where to find it, what to do next, how to get the funds, and how to handle the assets that you've left behind for them. Last but not least, you want to make sure that you create a contingency plan. And what your contingency plan consists of is basically assessing your growth. So what you want to do is figure out a way, how can I preserve the assets that I have right now? And not only that, how can I grow it in the most effective manner possibly? This is important. So in the contingency plan stage, you are assessing your growth, or basically the sustaining growth phase. You are assessing the growth and you are planning for contingencies. What happens if? What happens if? This is what I want to happen. How can I make sure that I'm leveraging the assets that I have? How can I grow it? How can I sustain it? So these are the types of questions that you're asking yourself when you get to phase 6 of the financial transformation stage. So you guys have 6 steps that you need to work on. I've given you a lot of information. I've given you where you can go to find out additional resources. I want to urge you to get into this process, get into this program, get into this mood, because It is transformational, and not only transformational for you, but it will be transformational for your family. So remember, there are 6 steps that you have to go through, and that is establishing your financial goals, identifying your financial patterns, making sure that you are planning for those anticipated expenses, making sure that you are demolishing your debt, making sure that you are creating your legacy plan, and then last but not least, making sure that you are sustaining your growth. Thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of the Sophia Melonē Show, where we make debt freedom the new norm and wealth building the natural nature of habit. Do not forget to smash that subscribe button if you have not, and make sure that you invite a friend, get someone else in the room, and then comment below on what your favorite step is out of the 6. And if you also have any questions on what to do next, just let me know. I'll be sure to reply to you in the comments. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode, and I will be sure to be back with you guys on the next one to share some more financial tips on what you can do to improve your financial situations. Thank you for tuning in. It's the Sophia Melonē, the Debt Demolisher, signing out. Bye!